Hi, another IntegrAI panel discussion. And again, artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence. How are you, Fateme?
All good, thank you. How are you?
Thank you very much. How was the previous talk?
Yeah, I've got amazing feedbacks from people. They were interested of how AI could influence in a real world project that day by day millions of users can use it, and how data science and data analysis are used in real world projects. But actually, people asked me to focus on the future of AI more in the next sessions.
I'm also got many amazing feedbacks from my family, from my nephew, and I will ask you in continue the question my nephew asked me. But for the start, let's start with the history of artificial intelligence. What are the key moments in the history of artificial intelligence?
Well, artificial intelligence was actually it's not a new concept. It's an old concept. Even before 2000, the concept was existing, but because of lack of data and lack of hardware resources such as GPUs, it was not actually as it is right now. So
You were working in AI in many years ago, yeah?
it's
More
like
than 10 years ago.
Yeah, before deep learning, I was also working with conventional methods, and after that we've gone through the deep learning, and after that generative AI. So generative AI was something that pivoted the direction of AI.
And pivoted the markets.
Yeah, so one pivot was in 2014 when the first paper of generative AI, and like the most influential one,
About
was
10 years
published.
ago. The first paper of generative AI was in 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Great.
So I
So
believe
it's not new concept, generative AI.
it's not new. It has more facilitated to be like as it is right now. Yeah.
You said about one of the key moments was 10 years ago.
Yes.
The first paper of generative AI released.
The most influential one.
The
Yes.
most important. What are another key moments in artificial intelligence?
One of the turning points was in 2014, and the other turning point was the Transformer paper in 2017 by Google. And
Transformers.
Yes, Transformers.
What is it about? What do you mean by transformers and this concept? It's a very general question about generative AI. What's transformers?
Actually, Transformer is a generative AI, but it has an attention mechanism that lets the generative AI to have a larger context window and have attention on the past data as well. So
it is a model.
Yes.
A artificial intelligence model.
Yes.
Is it right?
Yeah.
And what does it do?
It actually uses the past data to generate original content.
Great.
Whether it's image or, for example, text or video. So in the first years after the Transformer paper, text and image models were actually improving at the same time. And around the year after that, video models were also becoming common. And now we have a generative AI in any application.
So, can we name the 2017 the evolution year of artificial intelligence? Is it right?
You can say that, yeah.
And this evolution made by Google.
Indeed. Google, and followed by OpenAI.
By OpenAI. That's a great topic. I will discuss it later. And you said I wanted to ask what the most important breakthrough that helped generative AI grow. You talked about transformers.
Yeah.
What other topics that makes it the most important breakthrough of generative AI?
So the most influential breakthroughs were the publishing of generative AI paper and the transformer.
The transformers. These two main points of generative AI. What are another key moments in artificial intelligence before that?
Before that, the direction was like AI was focused on doing the repetitive work, finding patterns, and letting people do human work. So the slogan was just let AI do your repetitive work and physical work, and instead you focus on the human work, such as creativity, such as decision making, imagination, and these kind of human features.
Great. So the paradigm changed with generative AI. And what happened after 2014?
After 2014, generative AI is actually doing all these human works, or at least trying to copy this kind of human works. So, like the eventual of creativity and imagination is art. So now generative AI is doing art, whether it's painting, whether it's story writing and all.
How we use generative AI today?
As I mentioned earlier, right now the generative AI models are actually copying and doing even the human features of our tasks. Even like arts, that art is like the sample of having creativity and imagination and feeling, and also even in decision making. So we can see that the answers that an LLM, like for example ChatGPT, gives to us actually is day by day increasingly affecting on our decisions.
So I want to make a result here. Artificial intelligence now is our assistant. Is it right?
It is our assistant, but there are still some controversies that if it's our assistant, is it actually affecting on our decision making?
Is it or not?
In my experience, I was sometimes asked ChatGPT to like improve my email, and I've written an email and I asked it to improve it. So after a while, I reached to the understanding that if I give the ChatGPT the context and ask it to write the email from initial, it is actually it has actually a better result.
A better version.
A better version.
With a better mindset.
Yeah,
it is not the assistant.
Yeah, even better than what I've written.
It decided in place of you.
In place of me, and I was observing that this decision is better, so why should I think? I let him think.
Somehow I disagree with you. It's not good, I think, but I will.
It's not good, so that's the problem.
We will continue to the ethics topic. It's so interesting. So you think, moreover, the assistants, artificial intelligence and generative AI is our decision maker.
Right now, it's not that much trivial. Not everyone is understanding it. But actually, when all of our data is aggregated through different platforms, and then all of these data are used in a recommendation system that has a rich profile of every single person. So what happens? The AI has access to your data, your taste, what you are interested in, and it has access to all of the available choices. So it can decide way better than you.
It is true if, the most important if the AI acts as a good person to make the best decision for me. Let's. It's
not. No. Again, first of all, I don't believe that a model is good or bad because it is actually trained over the data, and it's so if the data was accurate and good, then you can say that it's a good model, or otherwise not. But again, I believe it's not that much good because it makes our minds lazy. So consider an artist such as Van Gogh or such as like a well-known writer such as J.K. Rowling. Each of them actually had their own styles in their own profession, right? And this is something that generative AI cannot copy. But what if J.K. Rowling was growing in this era? What if whatever she was writing, she was observing that AI is actually creating a better version than her? Did she even try to reach to that step of having her own style?
So you think that if we ask, for example, ChatGPT or Gemini to rewrite the Harry Potter series, it should be better result, a version of J.K. Rowling?
Not now, but in the process of growing. Like for example, when the writer is in her adolescence, or when her writing skills is still improving. She's not yet having a style, or she's not that much professional, but she needs to try to reach to that step. But the question is, when the AI is here and helping her, does she even reach to that stage of having a style?
Great question. What happened to creativity? Did it get the main place of creativity?
Of course not.
I think it's my own opinion. It's not right or wrong. I think AI can affect quality in any scale.
Indeed.
But in quantity, in any scale. But the quality is the main problem.
Mm-hmm.
For example, creativity. For example, feeling. How generative AI or AI can affect feeling. For example, can generative AI make a new feel?
Of course not, because it is actually copying the patterns.
Great. From the previous data.
Yeah, from the previous data, from the previous art. For example, from the style of Van Gogh. But if Van Gogh was not there, could AI actually create something like him?
No.
Of course not. So I believe still creativity has its own place, especially when using generative AI. So generative AI is actually like a hammer. When it's in the hand of someone innovative and creative, it's something much more strong than like in the hand of a baby.
No. So I should ask a direct question. For example, J.K. Rowling, for example, Van Gogh, for example, Hans Zimmer, any artist. They could be a better version of themselves if they train by AI.
If they were trained by AI in their process of learning?
Yeah. You said that.
No.
What do you mean?
I mean that when someone innovative is using generative AI, they can create something new, or for example, use generative AI in a new application. Let's say, for example, there is a general usage LLM like ChatGPT. So an innovative person with a nice idea can customize it to a niche market, to a special area, like for example, writing personalized ads.
So the creativity is at the top level of decision making than AI.
Yes.
In these days.
Still, it's like that.
Yes, still, yeah. What's happened in next 10 years? Is it also the creativity at the top level and AI is the base for it?
I believe creativity is still very important, but it is also about who can use AI in the best way. So a creative person, without having facilities, without knowing how to use AI,
They could not.
they
Cannot.
can, but it takes much more time for them. to reach to the same position that a creative person with AI can reach.
Got it. So more powerful AI platforms a country have, a society have, more creative persons they have in future, more powerful person, more scientific person. Each country have the more powerful platform of AI. In next 10 years, they have the most creative society they have.
Or you can say that the creativity reaches to the result sooner. Because people can have their creativity, can have their ideas, but they cannot reach to that place easily and soon.
Very soon. For example, when we want to compare between them, the way that they can work in 10 years, they will do it and they work it in less than 1 year.
Yeah, this is actually the feedback that I've taken from many experts.
It's so many fear for it.
Indeed.
We see the unbalancing the AI platforms in countries. For example, some countries have the many AI platforms, many powerful AI platforms. Some countries don't know about AI and artificial intelligence. There's many unbalancing in world in next decade.
I believe there are some unfairness, especially in the education of AI, in how people are using AI, because the platform like ChatGPT is available in any place in the world, but
only in education.
Education of how to use AI, because the problem
not the platforms themselves.
Not the platforms because OpenAI was actually open.
It's not.
Right now, it's not.
It will not, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think it will be open again?
So the trend till now was that whatever platform that was open, people were welcoming to use it. So I believe one of the success keys of OpenAI till now was that it was being open source and everyone had access to it, but from now on they have changed their policy.
I think the OpenAI crawled all the data. It doesn't need more any to be open source more.
But again, the experts are finding ways of how to make it again fair and like open source, or how to deploy these AI models decentralized so that it is not monopolized by certain companies or certain people.
Okay, you think that the intention of people using generative AI, the intention of AI experts, lead us to born new open source AI models, yes?
Or using the current models
instead of OpenAI.
Or using the current models in other platforms such as edge computing, such as P2P platforms like blockchain.
Oh, a new age of artificial intelligence we are facing.
I believe so.
Great. Explain more about the new age and new key moments.
The new key moments?
You said it's the new key moments for decentralizing, distributing, and open source, using open source models or open source platforms for using the previous models. I think it is the new key moment.
Yeah, so I believe it actually is influenced by two main concerns that experts have. One is how user data is being used, the potential of the data being exploited or being misused. And the second concern is that some companies are actually having centralized power, and this power makes concerns that is it actually always beneficiary for the public. So these two concerns made experts to have research and have the direction into running these generative models over our own devices that is called edge computing, and using federated learning, we can actually use all of like my mobile, your mobile, and all of the devices in our network together in order to run a generative AI. And the second trend is using P2P networks such as blockchain. So you already know that there is a smart contract in each blockchain network. So researchers are working on doing the computational workload and computations of generative models as a smart contract.
Merging blockchain, artificial intelligence, so interesting, so fearful.
So interesting, but it's not fearful, I believe, because if at any point people feel like it's becoming dangerous, they will turn off their PCs. They will turn off their servers and everything is done.
Let's come back to this question. You said that it's not fearful. Bitcoin is fearful or not?
I believe it's not fearful because it's dependent on individuals rather than a centralized.
How people use Bitcoin? Is it good or not?
The,
It's how we face the blockchain model.
I understand what you're saying, but if in one point all people reach to the understanding that something is dangerous for the humankind, they can all turn off their servers, right?
It's like a knife. It depends on how we use it.
Indeed.
Okay, merging blockchain and artificial intelligence make a more powerful platform.
Yes, but it still has a lot of complexities because, you know, most of the smart contracts are now lightweighted computations. But if we want to use it for generative AI computation, what happens is that we need to have a high workload in the same smart contract. So this is what researchers are now working on, of how to use this kind of computations as a smart contract.
Great, great. What about misinformation?
What do you mean by misinformation?
Many people ask me that there are many platforms for generative AI like ChatGPT, Gemini, and many other platforms. But when we ask some question, make a prompt, the result is not the main and the most correct result. It depends on the data that it's spread on the internet, for example, and the data that's crawled by OpenAI. But sometimes we have misinformation. Beside the ethical concerns, we have another concern in using generative AI, that is misinformation. For example, in zero-day knowledge, a new virus is spread in the world and the generative AI don't have any information about it. How we can trust the generative AI models?
Well, I believe this concern was bold at the beginning of generative AI appearance, but nowadays it's not a huge concern as the models are being trained on reliable data. But again, there are some prompt techniques that you can use in order to make sure that it is accurate. For example, asking the model about the source and asking about more details so that you can make sure that whether it's a hallucination or it's based on factual data.
So it depends on the prompt engineering methods.
Indeed, and how to use models.
In another phrases, the art of prompting.
Indeed.
How we prompt it makes our trust or not.
Yes.
Great, Fateme, for this discussion. Some personalized questions. What inspired you to use with generative AI?
So initially, I was very much interested in mathematics, linear algebra, algorithms, and before that even I was interested in computer science theoretical stuff. So after I found out there is a major named artificial intelligence that is applicably using all these theories that I know, I was so excited, and I literally didn't have any idea of how effective it might one day be. But I just started it as like a hobby, and then I found out that it's becoming trending and more trending.
Interesting in mathematics, calculus, linear algebra, and many other aspects, depending on mathematics, lead you to work in artificial intelligence. Great. And my nephew question, I'm new to AI. What's the best way for me to start? It coming from the mathematics, linear algebra, calculus.
Well, if someone was asking this question from me 5 years ago, or even 4 years ago, my answer
before Google paper.
kinda. My answer was like this. You need to know the concepts, you need to know the theories and all. But nowadays, there are some foundation models, some models that everyone can fine-tune on their own application and use.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from that, generative AI is actually making using AI much easier for the public.
With generative AI.
Yeah.
Well, what's the best way to start? For example, for a high school student.
I believe the best way to start is just start and take a model, take a data and use it. Try to fine tune the model over that data and customize the model for your own use and just use it.
Great.
It's not like 5 years ago that you need to know a lot of theories to use AI. It's just becoming so much user-friendly that even a higher schooler with some knowledge of computer can use it.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for hearing this session of IntegrAI discussion. We will continue talking about artificial intelligence, its concerns, its topics in next episodes. Thank you very much.